All right. Welcome to the June edition of the JoeDocMusic.com Guitar Journal. This time around, we're going to break this up into 3 sections and talk a little bit about surf guitar playing and surf music a little bit. First step is to get your Strat set up so that you can get some serious whammy stuff going on without the guitar going out of tune. So even after the deep dip like that, the guitar will come back in tune. All right, and that's what we're going to do right now in this section. Then we're going to talk about composing a surf tune, some options for chord progressions, and then look at exactly the little lead part that I just played there. First step is the guitar setup stuff. Okay, we're going to need just 2 things. You need a number 2 pencil and a little bit of emery cloth. You can see I've already used this, and you can see the little file marks on there. All right. This is going to be a real easy thing to do, and what we're going to do is work on the nut of the guitar, okay? And that's this part right up here, okay? And it's a really simple fix to get a standard Strat, and this is no like Teflon nut or aftermarket special stuff. It's completely stock US standard Strat, okay? And all I needed to do to get this tremolo going like this, okay? First of all, I'm strung with 11s string, so the highest string is the 11, and that made it a little bit tight up here in the nut. All right, so that when I would bend the string, okay, you pull some extra string, so to speak, through here, and it would get sort of trapped in here, clamped in there, and then that made this go flat. Okay, and if you were to push here or work the whammy a little bit, it would kind of release and come back to being in tune. But that's not something that was really doable in performance. So you need to simply fold over the emery cloth like this, okay? Make a thin little edge to it, okay? Release the E string. I'm going to tune it down, okay? I got the snark tuner on here so I can always check it while I'm working on the guitar. So just tune the string way down so it's loose, pull the string off to the side, and then you take this little edge here and you file carefully. Don't push down too hard. You don't want to make it deeper so the string starts rattling against the fretboard. You want to get it wider. You want to get that little gap there wider. So you kind of lay it in there, okay? And then you just work back and forth just a little bit with your fingers like that, okay? Then you're gonna blow the dust out of there, and then take a number 2 pencil, which is graphite, and before you put the string back on, you're gonna scrape a little bit of that number 2 pencil in there. It's nice and crumbly and it comes apart in there. And then you can wipe off the excess. A little bit will stay in the gap, and you pop the string back on, tune it up, and then check it out. Bend your string, work the whammy, and make sure that it comes back to pitch, okay? So as long as you've got your strings locked up here properly, and your guitar's intonated properly and all, and you can learn about how to do that in our Guitar Concepts DVD. If you check out the site, all that setup's in there. There's about 40 minutes of setup info. Go over Strat and Telly and all that stuff. And as long as you've got that all otherwise properly set up, you're going to be good to go. It'll keep the tension here no matter how wild you go with the whammy bar. I mean, if you really keep working it, you're going to probably bend your strings, just the actual metal of the strings after a while, and it'll start to go out of tune. But you can definitely get away with some good whammying for a whole song. Okay, so you can do the same thing to your B string, and this width is probably okay. The trick is when you get to your G string, especially if you're using like 11s like I'm doing, is fold the paper over again. Okay, so now you've got 2 thicknesses of that paper on each side. So that creates a slightly wider gap. Okay, a wider thing here for the gap of the G string. Okay, and you're going to get in there and you can do the same thing, just not pushing down too hard. You don't want to make the nut deeper, okay? You just want to make it wider. So you're going to go back and forth a bit. You can blow out the dust, maybe fold it over in another spot again, okay? Fold it over in another spot to get a fresh edge on the paper and widen it up. And then do the same thing, continuing down all your strings, okay? Always tuning back up and checking afterwards. Okay, and as you get to the lower strings, you can, of course, fold it over even more. I actually didn't have to file out much for the E and A strings. Those seem to be okay anyway. It's a matter of checking it and seeing which ones are going out of tune when you work the whammy. So then, after that, you should be really in good shape to come from totally, I turned it down, from totally released on the whammy bar up to pitch. Okay, and it'll be in tune. All right, so that's the first step. And once you got that done, then you're ready to get into some of this surf style guitar playing where you're doing some of these cool things. good shake in there, and all right, and you're going to stay in tune. Okay, at one point I even dive that A string down and bring the E back up. All right, and everything stays in tune. Okay, so thanks for checking back this month. I'm going to break it here so that these are smaller, more digestible little parts. Go fix up your guitar and come back for part 2 of this month. And there's also, like I said, there'll be a part 3 as well. So again, thanks for joining us, and see you in a moment.